Hello, Truth Seekers. Lawrence here, and welcome to Easy Enlightenment. So, how do we get caught in the bad habits? Example like, drinking, smoking, drugs, whatever habits that is deteriorating the lifespan, we see that as a bad habit. Okay, so how do we end up in this, life deteriorating habits? It starts from our environment. Our environment is influencing, with those habits. We see that, it's happening in the family. The parents were doing it, and we see, the neighbors are doing it, and the whole circles is doing it, and all these, habits in the adult came in from the parents. So it's like the habit is passed down from the generation. When you were a kid, you weren't doing it, you're just watching it, isn't it? You watch your parents smoking, your neighbor. Same thing with the drinking. And you start to become older, and somehow there's a twisted idea comes in that, oh, maybe this is the way to become an adult. So you end up trying, when you were in the school, end of the school year, then you continue in the college, and then the same habit is continuing where you, in your career phase, and now it's continuing. And this is how the habit, come into someone's life. The environment is there, somehow we copy it, and for some, definitely they try it, it's not their flavor, so they detach from it. But for some, it's, it's resonated with them, so they continue with it. Now, it's a habit. It's a habit that is deteriorating the life, and you want to get rid of it from your life, whether it's smoking, drinking, drugs, anything that is making you sick. By the way, some people who are addicted to, stuff, some people still, prolong their life for 80s, 90s, even 100. But the ratio scenario is different, right? For some it works, but some, for lot, it doesn't work. Some people end up dying early. The lifespan, cuts down a lot. So, deep down in everyone's mind is, I don't want to die so early. So people are trying to, detach from this, different addiction. And they try different things. But and it's not working for most of you, isn't it? It's somewhat, seems like working in the beginning, but again, you fall into that trap again. And the rehab is like that, isn't it? You have addiction, you go to rehab. When you are in the rehab, there's so much, boundaries there. You were able to minimize and able to detach from it, but when you're back in the world, you're free. So you end up starting again. So it's a back and forth with addiction. Some people feel really sick, they come to the dying state, but somehow they are able to survive. And even after experiencing the extreme, going through the extreme experience, people still don't give up. They continue with the addiction. So it's not working, isn't it? It's not working to let go, to detach from the attachment of the addiction. So what is the solution here to let go? Is through investigation. Investigating our own mind, asking ourselves, why am I attached to things that are harming me? Why? The why is the way to figure out the reason behind bouncing back to that addiction. Once you figure out the root cause of the addiction, you are still moving from that root. Your life is still happening from that ingrained conditioning, ingrained pattern in you, which also we can see them as a belief in us. And we just bounce back. The life is happening from the ingrained belief, the root. That's why people try to give up, but they can't, because the root is still there. No matter how fancy rehab you go to detach from the addiction, if you're not able to remove the root, that retreat doesn't work. That's why it has become the never-ending journey of retreat and world, coming back to the world. Yes, you can minimize by seeing the extreme scenario, but it's still happening. The conditioning is still there. So to let go completely, is by understanding oneself, why the conditioning is there in the first place, where is this conditioning coming from, figuring out the root. And once you figure out the root, you're attached to the root. Your life is happening, your addiction is continuing from the root, and you have to dismantle the root. Why am I prolonging this conditioning? Why am I prolonging this conditioning? And then you start to see the further answer of getting addicted to things. And then, you gotta keep going back with the why. Why am I addicted? There's certain answer. Then you deepen the work by, asking why. Why is that important? Why this answer is there. Then you deepen the inward backward movement with the why, and no matter what answer comes in from asking the why, keep adding the why until you go to the no mind. And once you go to the no mind, still the journey is not yet done. This is where you have to ask yourself, who am I? Only the who am I inquiry is gonna help us break out from all the mental trigger point, from the attachment. So you ask why to create an inward journey, figure out the root, and then and once you figure out the root, you go further back by asking why. my life is happening from the root, until you go to the no root and ask, who am I? So this is the journey that we have to take to, detach from the life deteriorating attachment. And pretty much there are so many attachments in everyone's life, right? We are attached to so many things. And if you can investigate, just like the attachment that we are looking on the addiction, you go in a you go back, you create a backward movement in all of your attachment, and you see the same scenario happening. And this is a way to break out of all unhealthy patterns, conditioning, the belief from one's own head. So this is the not just detach from the addiction. This is about detaching from your own mind that is creating you to attach to something. So you're getting rid of the root altogether. Now, some people don't have to go all the way to the figure out the root and eliminating the root. Some of the scenario is different because they are in a different phase in their life. For example, if you are a alcoholic, if you were alcoholic, if you were a big chain smoker, you were able to give up because you categorize something is more important in your life than your addiction. The meaning behind your life will help you. Having the intention in your life will help you to get rid of things. But that is, just the one part of one scenario of the life. But, even you're able to give up, it's still, you end up bounce back to that addiction, here and there. But actually that's better than nothing, but don't stop there. If you're struggling, you figure out why, why I have a hard time giving up. So, inquiring, self-inquiry is the best solution. The solution that not just help us to break free from one conditioning. If you look into our own life and investigate on all our attachment or addiction, this work will help us break free from all conditioning. Because this whole process is about understanding oneself and one's action. Okay. So, investigate why you're addicted to anything. Pick up one addiction, work on that addiction. Why am I addicted to this? Now the answer comes. Follow backward, inward, backward, and that's the way to do it. Okay, and if you figure out the truth, by the way, that itself is awakening. The spiritual awakening is spiritual freedom. So you started with with simple addiction, but you keep going backward. You're able to awaken yourself from all the addiction. You're able to free yourself from all the addiction in your life. So any scenario in life can help us get back to the plain sight truth if we create that inward journey. Anyway, hope this video makes sense to some extent. Hope you're doing the backward work. Keep going, don't give up. And yeah, see you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye.